Thanks so much, Todd. How's everybody doing this morning? Are we excited to be here? Second half of the internship. That is awesome. I'm so thankful to be able to speak to you guys. I want to thank Todd for the opportunity. It really means a lot to me to be able to share a little bit about what God has been doing in my life. For those who have not met me yet, my name is Daryl Jackson. I'm one of the pastoral interns here at the Elgin campus, right along my man JD, Jay Delage. You know, he throws it up, I slam it down. We're killing it with adult ministry, having a bunch of fun. And not only that, but we also got 8 other pastoral interns. Where you brothers at here? Where my pastoral interns at? Young men of God getting ready to lead God's church. That's really, really awesome. And I hope everybody's enjoying your internship, having a ton of fun. Praise God for what's going on. But I really think that nobody's having more fun as an intern, as interns, as the Judson family interns. It's been a very, very interesting experience throughout the course of the summer. We recall some different things. The power is going off inexplicably on 84-degree sunny days.
Okay, that's a word.
We're calling the campus police and saying we're too loud. I mean, you got a bunch of Liberty students. What do you expect? It's quiet. Like, you got to get used to that.
He got
we also have had a lot of things where we've had the flood. We've had a couple floods. And I've had times where I thought, like, I read Genesis 6 and God said that there will no longer be a worldwide flood. But I swear on 2 different separate occasions, the worldwide flood almost started at Judson. I thought, what is going on here? And then I go and spend half of my income on some oven food, only to discover that my oven doesn't work. So I got to borrow my neighbors. So I'm thinking, man, I don't know about this place. But we're getting through. We're making it, and we're having a good time. But I got to give a quick shout out to 3 special ladies here, Lily, Jalinda, and Jordan. Got their LJJ. You gotta know about it. These ladies, it was a cleaning company, but now I'm seeing that they do everything.
Yeah.
They clean, you change your oil, you get back massage, you cook your dinner, you iron your clothes. You do whatever you need at a fair price. So I just want to let you know, go to them. And ladies, now you give me 10% on all your sales. Just give you a little program. But no, that's around. But it's a good time. It's a good time. But some of you guys, you know, as you've gotten to know me, you know, as I'm a little bit older of an intern, and some of you guys are like, you know, what is this old head doing here with all that in our group? You know, and I'm about to explain how that all kind of came into be. But what happened is that I've also had somebody like that in my life when I was younger. When I graduated college, I went to seminary. And I started out with an MDiv program, and there's this older gentleman that was part of our group. And have you ever met somebody in your life that had a testimony or had stories to tell that were like so crazy that you wonder, like, are these stories even real? Like their stories are so dramatic, you're like how is this person not dead? This person was Chris Hensler, and he was a man that lived a crazy life, and he lived it so crazy that he got incarcerated. He was in jail. And but in the time in jail, God touched his life. He became a believer, and he really started growing in his walk with God. He started listening to the people in his life, and the people that came there for prison ministry, and he really started growing to the point that he felt God calling him to ministry. And his behavior was so good that they let him out on parole, and they sent him to seminary with us. So they sent a guy who just got released from jail with a bunch of young men in a seminary dorm. I was very, very comforted to hear him. And then all of a sudden I started hearing the stories, and I started thinking, man, this guy is different. And so then we started all playing basketball. You know, seminary guys, we want to study breaks, so you go out there and hoop. And this guy shows up to the court. And I'm thinking, what is this man doing on the court with us? And then he calls me out, and he said, I'm going to guard you. And I'm like, you ain't going to guard me. I'm about to run circles around this old man. That's what I was thinking. But he ended up running circles around me. And he ended up beating me up, and I was feeling like I don't even belong on this court. And it's just something about people from Indiana. And I know some people from Indiana. You know, it's like no matter if you're an 8-year-old man from Indiana, you get out of the court, start drinking threes. I don't know what it is. It's just something about the culture from being from there. But he just has such crazy energy. And he didn't just have such a crazy energy with basketball. He had that crazy energy in terms of his passion for God. I remember him being so passionate that he would come knocking on my door at 6 in the morning and being like, Brother Daryl, it's time to get up for class. We're going to learn about Ephesians today. I can't wait to get into that worship service and listen to God's word. And I was like, brother, go to sleep, man, go to sleep. I got 20 more minutes. You know, I'm going to get up and I'm going to show up late, last minute to class. I'm going to pull a West. I'm just going to throw my clothes on real quick and get in there. That's what I was thinking. But this man had a passion that was just unreal. And remembering Chris's story, I started thinking to myself, man, that's crazy, that's dramatic, but that's not me. Have you ever heard testimonies in church, school, about people that had a wild life and you thought, that'll never be me? You know, and I thought that when I was younger too. I thought I was nice and tall, I knew it all, and I wasn't going to fall. Oh. You know, some people call me, you know, Daryl, Jay, the man with the plan. I had some nicknames. And I thought, you know, all my life was just going to fall into place because I just had it together and I was going to do it. And it was cool to hear stories, but they weren't going to be me. And then 15 years later, I'm standing in this place right here and testifying that life comes at you in ways you don't expect. And things happen according to God's plan and not your plan. And God had to humble me and show me things that I really had to learn. And you see, it was through the course of time that I started realizing that God is on the throne. And God wants to work. And I have to let Him work. And that's when really things, a life is the best it can be. You see, throughout the course of my life, I've had a ton of good experiences. I've had been able to live in a lot of different places, do a lot of different ministries, make a lot of friends, travel. I've had a good life. But I never really got to achieve the goals that I said I wanted to achieve. I never really got a long-lasting full-time position yet. I never had a relationship that went all the way to marriage. I never had enough capital that I was able to save to buy a house. And I thought, these are the goals. This is making it in life. This is success. And I never was able to get there. And because I was never able to get there and time kept ticking in my life, I started feeling like I was a failure. I started feeling like I didn't make it, like I was a bust. Like everything that I was expected to do, I didn't do. And so my discouragement led to some bad decisions. And some of the bad decisions led to habits. And I started to become a little callous and hard in my heart toward God, and I didn't even realize it. But 3 years ago, in 2015, some great things started happening for me. I was able to leave where I was living in Ohio, and I went back into New York, and I decided to pursue ministry again, and I was able to get to seminary and get going with it. You know, I got to be part of a really good church. I began to be part of a thriving young adult ministry. I was able to get a job. I was able to travel, make some more friends. I was able to get some speaking opportunities in my hometown up in Spring Lake and Word of Life. Things started really looking up. And I was able to finish seminary in 2017. And a month after that, I landed a children's pastor job in South Jersey. And I really, really was happy. And I really, really loved it. And I was thankful for it. But beneath the surface, there was still a lot of bad habits in my life. A lot of depression that I wasn't taking a hold of, a lot of anger issues, a lot of misconduct, a lot of things that I hid from people because I didn't want them to know the real me. And because things were starting to go good and I was starting to get closer to my goals, I thought that was what mattered most and that was what was important. And I denied a lot of the warning signs that God was trying to give me. And so I got the job and I just let the elders know. I gave them the perfect perception of who I am, and I surprisingly got this job. And so I went down to there, and what I should have did was I should have told them about my issues so they could have helped me and worked with me, but I hid it because I thought I would go down to South Jersey and I would just flip the switch. I'm Pastor Daryl now, everything's okay. And so the ministry got going. I was able to get a children's ministry that was in total chaos in order in 3 months, which was 3 months quicker than they expected me to do it. I loved on the kids, I loved on the people, everything was really, really going well. I thought, I'm going to be here for a very long time. I'm making some good money, they're putting me with a family, I'm saving this money, I'm going to buy a house next summer, I'm going to meet somebody, everything is good. You know, I didn't really want to go down to South Jersey at first, but then I started falling in love with that Philadelphia area, and Mike Day knows all about that. You know, I was in the Eagles' nest, and they won the Super Bowl, and then I was trusting the process, and I was just like, man, I'm here. I'm a Philly product now. You know, I got the shore a half an hour away, I'm near the city, I'm cool, everything's good. But because I denied important issues in my life, God had to start revealing them to me, and I got tested in a way I didn't expect. And so when it was a night when I was tired, I went out with somebody and had a good time, and then somebody texted me something that I didn't want to hear, and I responded really wrong, and I said something that really hurt somebody. And then that got word to somebody in my church, and then her husband was an elder, and he called me to talk to me about it, but I didn't get it. And then he said, Daryl, I got to tell the other elders. And he told the elders, and then I'm shocked, and then I have to sit in this elders meeting, and I'm an elder, and I'm amongst other elders, and they said, Daryl, we have to remove you from your position. And I was crushed. And I thought, there's no way. I worked so hard for this, I finally got to this place in my life, you guys are going to remove me from something that has nothing to do with my job? All in all, I didn't realize I had everything to do with my job. Because pastoral ministry isn't about what you do, it's about your character that matters most, and I didn't get that.
Yep.
And I denied that because I had this idea of what worldly success was really all about. And that's what mattered more to me. And it's sad to say, even in churches, you got to be careful, even in ministry, and as we all enter and prepare for what God has us to do, we got to really, really be careful. Because this is almost this idea of like this look that you have to have, this dress, this swagger, this appearance, this energy that you got to have, and that's all good. But if underneath the character isn't developed, Satan's going to test you, and you're going to fall, and you're going to lose out on the opportunities God wants to do to use you in special ways. And that's what I had to learn. That's what I had to enroll in. And so it was a really, really tough time in my life. You know, when the elders have to make a decision like that, and they have to tell it in front of the church, and I'm there, and then you got hundreds of grown adults and kids coming up to you crying, that's just devastating. It was the lowest moment of my life. But that was a very, very important moment in my life when I was able to really realize what God was trying to do. And I got so depressed that I felt even more like a failure, and I wanted to end my life. Because I felt like I was a total failure. But that was the moment that God was really able to reach me. And so what happened was I really got to talking to some counselors, and I submitted myself to that. And my mom, who was a certified counselor back in my hometown, told me, she said, Daryl, pain is the gift that no one wants. But yet it's a thing that can bring us to Christ and can help us to realize what He really wants us to do. And it was in that moment that I really started to feel God in a new way, and I allowed God to start working because I gave that up. I started having a spiritual victory. You see, the world embraces victories that we see in terms of what we do, but God embraces victories in terms of who we become in our character. And so I really learned that I had to say 3 important words that I was reluctant to say. 3 important words that I was too prideful to say, too conceited to say, too ashamed to say. And those 3 words are, I need help. I need help. And I cried out to God and said, God, I need help. And that's when God really began to work in my life and start rejuvenating who I really am. And I believe for every one of us, God has help for us. And there's 3 God-given, very effective means for help that God wants to give. And the first of those are God Himself. You see, Psalm 46, 1 and 2 read, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth gives way, and though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea. I want to ask you, are you utilizing the help that you get from God? Do you have a real relationship with God? You see, because a real relationship with God is kind of like preparing a meal. You see, if you just throw ramen noodles together, if you just eat some Go-Gurt, or you just eat some Cheez-Its, it's only going to take you so far. You know, you can't have an instant oatmeal relationship with God and expect to be strong. You got to be like my man, Matt Horn, and put together a real meal. Spend some time and cook and provide some real nourishment for your soul. That's the type of relationship with God that you got to have. And it's got to be one of those things where it's like not just about what you can get from God, but what do you give to God? When you pray to God and you talk with God, is it just about what you want? Or are you praising Him and adoring Him for who He is? Are you confessing your sin? Are you asking for prayers for others? Are you thanking God for what He's already done and what God can still continue to do? Are you having that type of relationship with God? Are you getting in His Word? Are you really getting close to Him? I promise if you put the time in, you're going to see God do things that you can't do. See, when I was in ministry, even last year, I thought it was all going good, and I didn't spend that time. Because I thought, hey, everything's going good, so it's okay. But inside, my soul was deteriorating, and I was missing out on the opportunities to really grow as a believer and be prepared for the trials and troubles that can happen in my life. The second thing is trusted mentors and counselors. Proverbs 11:14 reads, where there is no guidance, a people falls. But in an abundance of counselors, there is safety. Counselors are everything. And I know a lot of us have been assigned a mentor, and that's awesome. I hope that you're getting to know that person. I hope that person is making a difference in your life. And I hope that that relationship that you've established with this mentor will extend beyond August 8th. And that'll be somebody that you can keep in your life. Another thing here I put down is trusted. Make sure that it's a trusted mentor, not just somebody older that is just going to give you any advice. Because there's a lot of people that can mislead you in the wrong way. Make sure that you have mentors in your life that are actively walking with God. And not just that, but that type of relationship that they have is confirmed by other believers, confirmed by the church. Somebody that is trusted and known. I think of different mentors that I have in my life. And I want you to write down, just like you guys have on this sheet of paper, write down some mentors that you have. Write down some people that you respect that maybe you think, man, maybe I can stretch myself and talk to this person and see if they'll have some time for me. Maybe it's not once a week, but even if it's once a month or once every 2 months, that I can talk to and I can engage with, and that person can give me a different perspective in life. I've been able to do that. I've added 3 mentors to my life just this summer. The first one of them is Dave Learning. I spent time with Dave the other day. Dave is a trusted counselor. This man really helped me with some of the issues in my life. I was able to talk to him and really share with him some things, and I feel so much better that I've been able to be real with somebody who can help me with my life. Another person, like Lily mentioned, is Lynn Telschow. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman of God. It's nice to have different varieties of mentors in your life. And for guys to have a woman mentor, or for women to have a male mentor, it just gives you a different perspective. Because I'm a guy, and sometimes I have to deal with ladies, my sisters in Christ, and I don't know how to go about it. So I think with Lynn, she can give you the wisdom in terms of how to handle it. Another one is Ed Allen. I'm about to be with Ed in a couple weeks here. Most of my mentors happen to be white men, and that's fine. But Ed is a black man, and me being half black, half white, I like having a different perspective. So when I can talk to Ed, it's not just about the things of God, but Ed can teach me how to be a better Christian black man and how to conduct myself in society and how to relate to people with cultural issues. It's important to have people that can give you a different sense of perspective so you can become a more whole, complete person. Finally, is spiritually growing friends. Proverbs 27:17 reads, "Iron sharpens iron, so is one man or woman sharpens the countenance of his or her friend." I'm just being gender friendly there because I got ladies here, and I love y'all. So I just want you to know having friends is so important. But I say that as spiritually growing friends. I know we got a variety of different friends, and sometimes most of us have some unsaved friends in our lives, and that's good. But make sure you're giving to them and being careful. But the only friends that can really, really take you to where God has you go is spiritually growing friends. And that's why a lot says iron sharpens iron. You have to have the same type of element to be able to take you to where you need to go. Making sure that you have friends. And sometimes that's not easy. Sometimes you got to let your friends speak into your life things you don't want to hear. But those are the things that give you life. And those are the things that take you to that next step. One of my friends that I've been able to develop over the years is Landon McDonald. He's been a great friend to me. And when we met, we were both student ministry directors. And I met him at a conference, and we maintained a friendship. But when I lost my job last year, it was tough to get on the phone with him and tell him that. And I had to share with him. I said, "Brother, I need some help." And he was able to give me some encouragement. He said, "Darryl, why don't you come out here to our church and be an intern?" He said, "I know you're a little older, but I'm going to work it out for you, but it's an opportunity for you to take that next step." He said, "Go finish the counseling, finish the things that you have to do, and then come out here and get ready for the next step of ministry." And that's what I did, and God is doing awesome things. I had to humble myself. It's easy to be like, "Well, I've been a pastor, and I'm older now. I don't want to be an intern. I don't want to be around a bunch of college kids." And it's kind of like I can have that egotistical, stupid attitude where I can say, how about I be a blessing to my younger brothers and sisters in Christ? And how about I learn myself and go where God has me to go? And I decided to make that choice, and man, it's been a really, really great summer, and I've learned so much, and I'm thankful for what God is doing. But in conclusion, I just want to say, I just want everybody to be your real self. One thing I'm learning every day is to close the gap between the perception of who you are and who you really are. Be the real person, because that's when God can really use you and take you to where you don't even know you can go. And know that we all need help. The world says that seeking help is weakness, but God says seeking help is strength. And so go to people in your life. Go to God, go to mentors and counselors, go to friends, and let God take us all to where we can go. It's been an awesome summer. We got 4 weeks left. Let's crush it. Let's finish it. I love you guys. I want everybody to succeed. And let's do this together. Thanks so much. Love you guys. Have a great day. Out. Peace.